Okay, everybody? Right over there, sit down. Okay, I am not Israel Idonije. Okay, for those schools who don't know, I am not Israel Idonije. I want to thank everybody for coming here today. What a tremendous day. I want to thank the schools for coming out to see one of our most famous alumni, and that is Israel. I'm going to just take a few minutes to introduce him. Sure, we all know about Israel Idonije, the football player. The Massey Viking Hall of Fame football player. The Super Bowl participant football player. The 8.5 sacks tied with Julius Peppers football player. Who still can't beat his old coach in a swimming race football player. And we're here to celebrate that today, but what is more important is that I knew Izzy when he was a tiny little boy. He was this big. Right, Choice? Do you remember that? I think he was this big. When he was a baby. He was amazing. I knew him as a little boy, growing up in the YMCA, and what's so impressive, sure, the NFL thing is pretty cool, and we're not going to deny that. But what is more impressive is that Israel does something that all of us can attain. All of us can do. And that is what I am most proud of when I speak to Israel and I see Israel, is the stuff he does off the field. And unlike a typical athlete that sometimes starts when they're famous, Israel has been serving others since he was a tiny little boy, going into the freezer and feeding families in need in Brandon as a young boy. As a 12-year-old boy at the YMCA and the Youth Leader Program, who at 12 years old already started working and helping children in Brandon from every need and every type of kid across the city. That's the kind of Izzy that I remember. And today, although we received the keys of the city, the first time that has ever happened, Izzy, the keys of the city. Apparently it opens everybody's house. So, we're looking forward to seeing you later, Izzy, okay? You're like Santa Claus. Even though he's received the keys to the city and he's accomplished so many things like the Walter Payton Man of the Year finalist, and he's received numerous awards, what Izzy can teach us is about he is a man of character, integrity, and service to others. And most of us, including myself after a failed tryout in the NFL, security guards took me away, but I was close. We can know that we may not play in the NFL, but we can all have an influence the way Israel has, and brought up by his wonderful parents and a wonderful family. They have taught him what giving to others is all about. And today, that is what we want to celebrate and be thankful that Israel Idonije is a Massey Viking. I'd like to call up Israel Idonije.
Thank you, Coach. How you guys doing? Wow, thank you for that incredible welcome. But before we get started, what we're going to do is I'm going to split the room up, probably right here, down this way. So that's maybe that's a little too much. We're going to split, we'll split the room right down this middle here. From this guy on all this way this side against this side. So I'm going to say, "Are you ready?" You say, "Yeah." "Are you ready?" "Yeah." I say, "Breakdown." Like, you got to be kind of smooth with that. I know sometimes you're a little cool, but you got to say, "Ooh." All right? So let's start with this side here, all right? I say, "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "Break it down." "Are you ready?" "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "Are you ready?" "Break down." That was pretty good. Can you do better than that? "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "Yeah." I like that. Thank you guys for having me here to spend this afternoon with you guys. It's an honor and a privilege for me. And I grew up right here. Believe it or not, I played basketball in this gym. You know, I I sat in those bleachers. All my assemblies right here. This is home. This is my home. And it's just incredibly special for me to be here and to spend this time with you. And my journey to where I am today started right here. And we're from the same place. We're from the same situations. And my message to you is that it starts now. Today, start thinking about who you are. Where do you want to end up? You're never too young to start that. What do you want to do when you grow up? My man on the edge right here. Yeah, right, with your hands on your knees. Yeah, what do you think? What do you want to do? What do you see yourself? What are some of the things that you would like to do when you grow up? You don't know. You don't know, but believe it or not, that's the answer most people say. I don't know. That's the regular answer. How about you? I don't know. Young lady right here in the green. I don't know. So I want you to start thinking about that now. What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself? I was 13 years old. 13. I set up my first goal. I said, my parents, which I love you guys. At 13, I wrote down that I wanted to play basketball for the Chicago Bulls, or I wanted to be a child psychologist. When I was 13, those were my two goals. And at 13, every day I was on the basketball court, all throughout, after school, I played basketball. Everything I did was focused on achieving those two goals. Playing basketball, and I loved working with children. I worked at the Y with Coach Grindy. All those things that I do now started then, because I set those goals then. So right now is the time to start thinking about what do you want to do with your life? What direction do you want to end up in? Where do you want to be? Because if you don't know where you're going, how do you get there? If you don't know where you're going, how do you get there? You don't. You're just sitting here like, I don't know. So you got to start thinking about that, because when you know or have a plan, when you have a plan, then you can make decisions and you can make choices to get you to where you need to be. So for me, that's what I want for you. I want you to start thinking about your future and your goals now. It was a long time ago since I was here in this position. I went from here in Brandon to the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg. I played there 5 years. And just sitting there, going through university, working hard, getting my education, an opportunity came. Being in the NFL was not my dream, it wasn't my desire, and I actually kind of went back before that. Coach Grindy talked me into playing football in grade 12. He said, come out and play football. I wanted to play basketball. At least, the worst thing that would happen is you'd be in shape for basketball. So I came out, I played, and that was the end of it. He then called my mother, convinced her to take me all the way to Winnipeg to play to have my first tryout for the provincial team. I went out, I didn't want to go first, so I said, Mom, I'm not going. She said, you're going. I said, I'm not going. So she packed my stuff, we drove 2.5 hours to Winnipeg, but when I got out on the field, they gave me my helmet, my pads. I wasn't going to let these other kids just run me over, so I competed, I played. I made the team. So they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and at that practice was the coach from the University of Manitoba. He called me and said, you're a big kid, you're athletic, and you're raw, but we want you to come